Hey guys, Henning and Morten from FlippedNormals here. In this video, we're going to go through some of the coolest tips we know in Blender, which you might not have picked up on. The first one is we can reset any value in Blender by hovering over the value where it is, and then we can hit backspace on the keyboard. So if you want to reset anything, this works with everything, even not even just transform. So if you want to go into the render settings, you screw this up beyond reason, you can just go over this and hit backspace. Gonna reset any value. I use this all the time. Next up, we have copy paste. So if we want to copy something from one attribute to another, instead of going in and copying it and pasting it, we can very easily just hover over the field we want, hit Control C, go to the other field and hit Control V. So no reason to go in, copy any hex code or anything. This works for other stuff than color as well. So if you want to paste or get the metallic value into the specular, we can Control C over. This is just super useful.
And you can do this outside of materials as well. We figured out, like if you, let's say you had a 0.5 value and you wanted to paste that into your render samples or something, yeah, you can paste that value in. It's just like you can paste numbers and colors between color fields. So there's a common theme in Blender about this hovering over a field and doing an action without actually clicking on it, which is also it's like a 0.5 tip right there.
I really love this. It makes it so much easier. And then we have a nice little tip as well, which if you hover over a value and
another hover.
Another hover. So useful. And you hit the minus key now. Keep in mind this is not minus a numpad. That's gonna do this. That's gonna make the UI smaller. We hover over and we hit the minus key next to the backspace one. And now it's going to insert a negative value in front of it. So really handy. Or rather, it's not going to insert a negative value. It's going to switch it from negative to positive or from a positive to a negative. You want to quickly flip something around, you can easily do that as well. Then we have an awesome selection tip. If you want to select, let's say, every second poly here, we can easily do this. We can select one, then the other. Then we hold Control, Shift, and then the plus key on the numpad. And now we can just hold it down and it's going to just select through it. This works with all sorts of patterns. So if you have every third, we can do that. We can select every six, whatever it might be. Super useful stuff. I use this particularly if you want to extrude some of these ones, you can select them and you can just extrude them out like this. We can also select every other in a different way as well. So we can select everything, then we can go to select and we can use deselect checker. That's gonna select it, give you this checker pattern.
So if you didn't want to apply your own UV sort of checker to it, you can select it here, then extrude it, and then you know, it's completely useless for UVing, but I just think it's funny.
So where would this be handy? Well, let's say you have a situation like this, and you want to select every other instead of, and let's say you have this is like 1,000,000 polys long, so you can't just sit here and hit this and just sit here and hover over it for like an hour. You can select everything. You can go select, and then you can deselect or checker deselect, and now you have it done in just one command.
And this works based on the last face you selected, I believe. So if you select the checker there, it gives you a way to control which checker pattern it picks.
In this case, if I want to select the other one, I would just hit Control I to do it. But it's also really good to know how to make it initially as well. Then we have a really cool tip using a Bevel Shader. We can easily set this up. If we have our shaders, then we add a bevel into this. You can just hit Shift A, search, and type bevel. And now you can plug this into the normal slot as well. So nothing is happening here, and this is because we are using Eevee for the Lookup viewport. We have to use cycles for this. This is a feature which is simply not supported. And now you can see that this object here has got this nice little bevel between it like this. So without this, it would look like this. And with the Bevel Shader, it's going to look really nice like so.
Yeah, it's just a good way to, break any kind of production workflow, really. If you wanted some cool bevels and you didn't want to merge shapes together. So One downside, I guess, well, not a downside, it's just how it works. They have to be in the same object in order for this to work. That's the only restriction, really.
So we can add tons more of these, and now you can see it just blends into each other. Be aware that if you use this instead of modeling, you're going to modeling hell and you're never getting out of it. This is awful, but it's an incredibly powerful technique if you want to cheat something.
It's kind of like a meta balls, but with any shape you want.
Yeah.
And about as useful, probably.
You can see it is quite useful for this cube and cylinders combined.
But it's a pretty cool trick.
It's a really cool trick. And then we have a setting in the sculpting tools.
Yeah, so this is for people who may have come over from ZBrush and are missing the Claybuildup Brush. The Claybuildup Brush and among other brushes have a build-up feature in them that allows you to just keep sculpting in the same spot and it'll build up over time. There's an accumulate setting in Blender that lets you do this.
So by default, what happens if we keep sculpting now, beautifully with a mouse like this, you can see it reaches a certain layer and you can never sculpt out of this layer again like this. You have to sculpt another stroke. So if you want to just keep building up, like Morten mentioned with Claybuildup in ZBrush, now you enable this under just the brush settings, options, and accumulate. And now we can just keep on building up. And this is going to keep building up until basically you run our resolution like this.
And because you're sculpting with a mouse, you know, it's actually the result is pretty impressive, I would say.
Very nice. Then we have another little cool trick as well. Let's go into the look view. So we have some nodes here and we want to quickly connect these up. Let's say we have noise texture and you want to put this into a color ramp. You can, of course, just drag this into the slot, or we could do it in a more automatic way, which is select the two of them, like this, and hit the F key. F in Blender is just generally like a connect thing, if you're connecting two verts, two faces, or two shaders. So let's just kill this again, and now we can show this works with all three of them. So we've selected all three and hit F key, and now it just connects it automatically up for us. Now, keep in mind, this here connects it based on the default slot. So in this case, it's going to be the default color. It can't read your mind. So, you know, if you want to connect this to like the roughness, for instance, you've got to actually drag it in manually. But for a lot of times you want it in the default slot and then select, hit F, and you're all connected up.
This works in the compositor as well. Like it's any node basically where you can use this, which is pretty cool.
Then we have an awesome modeling tool as well. This is the shortest path tool. So if you want to select an edge here, and then you want to have a shortest path to the edge up here, you could of course click it and all that, but that is for people who have time.
That's for scrubs.
You
don't want to do that.
So we can simply select this edge, and hold Control key while clicking. And now you can see that we select the range in between it. We also have a really cool feature as well, which we have stealthily enabled, which is called edge tag. So now we can tag it in different ways. In this case, it's set to tag seam. So right now it's actually tagging it with a UV seam. By default, it's going to be set to select like this. So now we're only selecting what's in between these points.
Yeah, and a very common use case for this is actually for tagging it with seams, because sometimes you want to do some ghetto UVs and you don't want to select everything perfectly. You just want some really quick cuts. Let's say maybe you remeshed something from ZBrush, you just want a quick UVs, select shortest path, tag it as a seam, and then unwrap it.
This also works really well when it comes to polys as well. We also have another little trick for you as well, which is fill region. So if we were to click here and click down here, and now we select fill region, it's going to select the region in between it. It's a bit funky when it comes to certain kinds of topology, but if we do like this and then we do fill region, now you can see it just fills up this entire region. Instead of clicking down here though, which is another click, we can hold down Control and Shift while clicking. So Control Shift, and now we just fill the region by default. This is just incredibly useful for all sorts of things. And this is honestly one of my favorite features when it comes to selecting in Blender. It's really powerful stuff. Then we have some cool curve tools as well. So if we have a curve, just a regular Bezier curve, you can get this by Shift A, curve, and we can just click Bezier. We can add thickness to this. So if you want to make something like a tube or something like that, we can just make a Bezier curve. We can make sure it's selected. We go down here into the curve properties. Under geometry, we have an option called bevel and depth. So if we were now just change the depth of this, we now have this really nice tube. But our tricks doesn't stop there. Today our tricks are on fire.
These exciting curve tricks.
These exciting curve tricks. So if we now want to add more thickness to this, or let's say we want to add local thickness, you want only this point here to be thick, we can now select the point, hit Alt-S, and I can see that it just becomes thicker as well. You can see that the actual lines here becomes thicker. We can really easily use this to create this nice taper. This is incredibly useful if you want to create like stylized cartoony hair. You can just very quickly do that. If we just right click on it, set this to shade flat, we can also show you another effect. We can also twist this around as well, since we actually have like a direction for each point and not just a point in space. We hit Control T, now we can also rotate this around and we can twist it. I just love doing this. It's a lot of fun. You can get really funny effects right away.
Yeah, maybe if you're doing some kind of weird tentacle, or maybe like just tentacles for hair, maybe that could have that have a twist around.
So if you want to convert this beautiful, totally not tentacle to geometry, we can hit the spacebar. We can search for convert, and then we have a feature called convert to. We just click that, and we can just set what you want to convert to. You really don't have to read anything else here. You just have to read the first word, which is, do you want to convert to a curve or do you want to convert to a mesh? In this case, we want to convert to a mesh. And now we have editable polys we can actually work with. So if you want to do something funky, for instance, we really want to do some crazy extrusions here. It's a pretty weird tentacle. You can extrude along normals. And now you can see we get some really interesting results here. So I really love this curve trick, which means you can add thickness to specific points and you can twist it around as well. Something like this will be quite hard to do with without using curves. Like modeling this up with regular polygons would be quite painful. So yeah, there you have it. Some of our 9 top tips with some extra little tips in there as well for you.
We almost made it to 10.
So if you have some more tips for us to show in future videos, please let us know in the comments. We'd really love to hear small little tips like this, like copy pasting values and colors and all these kind of things. So if you like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that little bell as well.
And if you're interested in professional training or 3D assets, 2D training, whatever it is, trying to advance your career within the CG, visual effects, or animation industry, make sure to pop over to the FlippedNormals marketplace and grab something from there.